Hi, welcome to Lava's Point of View. Today I want to talk to you about dating more than one person. That's what we got to get into. Um, Dating 2, 3, 4 people to find out who your husband or wife will be is overwhelming. You need to start off slow and get to a point where you're enjoying the date. You don't go on dates to see if every person is your spouse. And the reason why I'm saying that is because dating multiple people are experiences. It's something that you may receive from that person that you need to learn and grow. Now, I'm not talking about sexual things, I'm talking about intellect. You can date 2, 3 people at one time and learn from them. And being with certain people are experiences that you wouldn't get with another person. So what I'm trying to say is you're gonna have lessons. Basically, dating someone for maybe a month, like you really don't know how long that person is going to be in your life. So that's the first mistake, is dating someone thinking it's longevity. No, that person could be there for a week, that person can be there for an hour. You are dating to have an experience, to learn who you're going to be with. So dating someone for 6 months, you can kind of know if you two are getting along enough to get married. Dating someone for a year, you know what, I don't know, because I heard that you can date somebody one time and you know that that's going to be your spouse. That's what I heard. And I've known a few relationships who ended up getting married by dating, or by that first date they knew that was the one. Some of us got to kiss a few frogs to get to the one, but and being an older person dating, we don't have a whole lot of energy to be spreading around, giving to just anybody, all the time. So we need to know, we got to exercise discernment and get to know who that person is, just energy alone. And if we vibe, then we vibe, and let's keep on vibing until it, fizzle out. If it doesn't fizzle out, you might have something there. But I did a talk about the new age dating, and as long as we don't fall into any of that category, we should be okay. But I do understand that dating one person exclusively has to be asked. You have to ask, hey, can we be exclusive? Are we going to be exclusive? Don't be assuming. Don't be out here assuming that just because you're dating that person, that you're the only one dating that person. You got to be clear and precise, because people got attachments, and they're not going to tell you because they're dating you. They're trying to get to second base, third base, whatever, home run. So dating a couple people at a time, is the thing to do. Who you gonna compare it to? It took me a while to get that, because I'm not the dating kind of person. That I don't have energy to spread it out like that, to go on a date with one person and then go on a date with another person. And I'm always exclusive. That's just the kind of person I am. Everybody's not that way. You can go on a date with someone, and first of all, let me back up. I'm not even gonna go on a date with you if I don't have interest. I'm not wasting my time or yours if there's no interest. What, to go out and eat or whatever? No, we're not doing that. So you have to, in this day and time, if you're looking for a spouse, you got to date more than one person to have that comparison. Especially if you're new on the scene, and it's just not in my mix. But it has to be. Like, you have to take yourself outside of the box. You have to learn to do things that you never done before if you're looking for that special person. And um, they ain't gonna find you in the house. So you gotta go to places, you gotta go to restaurants, eat alone. Just sit back and enjoy the atmosphere sometimes, and pull up on your own and see what happens. Like, you gotta get out there, and it's just a different time. Now, don't be going nowhere with strangers and stuff, but conversation never hurt anybody, and everything starts with a conversation. You're making friends, and that's okay. But getting out there is scary, and anybody who is new on the dating scene, I commend you, because there's a lot of different kind of energies out there that you got to protect yourself from. So just make sure you use your wisdom that you got, and don't be going home with nobody. But sitting down, having a conversation, getting to know someone is fine. And you may have to do that over and over and over and over until you get to that one energy that you don't mind being in, that you're comfortable in, that you're content in. Someone, an energy that you can see yourself seeing tomorrow, or in the next day. Somebody you want to continually see. So, yeah. It's time to get out there if you're looking for a spouse, because he's not going to come, or she's not coming to your door. That's not going to happen. That'll be weird. But yeah, so you got to have something to compare it to. How do you know that that's yours if you're only going on one date? How do you know that's the one if it's just one date? Who are you going to compare it to, especially if you haven't been out there dating? And I'm not talking about raunchy stuff, out there dating and sleeping with other people. I'm talking about getting to know somebody, like a genuine friendship. That's what I'm talking about. So it's time. Summertime coming up. Everybody getting that summer body together. Get out there and, start meeting people. Ladies, I'm talking to you. It's not in our character to just go out, even alone, to meet anybody. But you never know where your husband is waiting for you. And I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to go out, even alone. And, I may meet him. How else is he going to find me? And I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready. They got this thing about what you bring to the table. You got to pay attention to that too. I hear, well, I am the table. And at first that used to offend me, like, what? Why are you the table? Like, but I get it. Women say, well, the women that I know that say that they're the table, is because they generally are the table. They're the legs. They bring the children to the table. Like, they do a whole lot of stuff that's got to do with the table. So I get it. But that's not me. That's not me. And so there's probably a lot of people that are like me. I don't need to be bringing nobody to the table or bringing a table. I'm bringing myself. And I know my worth. And I know to whom I belong. So that's enough. Bringing things to the table. We're going to go back on that. I think that's a metaphor for the job that you have, what you're going to do in the household, What can you do for me? Um, yeah. Uh, Financially, how are you going to help? Where's the support? And to me, we're talking about a table and just say, I can financially support you this way. I can mentally, support you this way. I can intimately support you this way. Just say that. You might be that upfront person like me. Just get the table. Table to me, the table's in the way. Let's get to where we need to be, and let's talk about it. So, yeah. And just be ready. You just got to be ready to date. You know who you are. You know what you possess. And it's not about all the things that you have. It's about who you are as a person. You can get all that stuff together, but who you are as a person, that's what you're bringing. I can honestly say me, and once you get to know me, then that's enough. It's probably, it might be a little bit more than enough, but it's enough. The match, you got to be my match. And, you got to be in a relationship where you can learn from each other. Because the matching is going to be bumping heads and fizzling out. The matching is not, don't match nothing of mine. Excel mine. And then put your hand down and bring me with you. That's what I'm going to need, so. And then vice versa. I may excel in some places and I got to bring you up or teach you, and we can grow together. But definitely it's a yin and a yang. So just be careful out there dating. Be yourself. Be honest. Don't be just dating one person because your feelings going to get involved and you're going to misjudge who you're supposed to be with, because you're exclusively with that person. Unless you guys both agree. But otherwise, you don't have to start dating 2-3 people so you can have something to compare it to. But before you even go out and date, oh my goodness, ask God. Ask God. Ask God. Talk to the Creator and make sure you ask the question, is this the one for me? Give me the signs of what I need to see. Open my eyes. Give me some wisdom, because I'm looking for my spouse and I need to know what I'm looking for. Does this person have that? And then you won't be misguided and just dating a whole bunch of guys or women, unnecessarily. A lot of people want to date because of the attraction. They have to be attracted to you, and that's with everything. People not just talking about, oh, it's about the heart. It's about how they treat me. You have to be attracted to even talk to that person, to even get to those other levels of how they treat you and how they talk to you and how they walk and talk and everything else that you can fall in love with. It's got to be some kind of attraction, and it could be just the energy attraction. It doesn't have to be somebody fine and looking all good and everything, and that's another thing about dating is, I was watching Pop the Balloon. I'm sure everybody's watched Pop the Balloon. And they so petty. I mean, it's about toenails. Oh, I don't like how your feet look. And I mean, we got to stop. You got to really get with somebody who genuinely sees you, And when a person sees you because you can feel it. You can feel it. It's something that happens without words. So when you're dating, feel, check out the energy, see how you feel around that person. And if your heart is comfortable and at peace, then, then that's when you date that person again. And then you talk about intellectual things, and then you build from that. It doesn't always have to be what they look like. And so, I mean, looks can change. So if somebody a little chubby, then hey, they can start eating different and getting that weight together, and now they fire. So, some things can change. So you got to stop basing who you date on how they look. As long as they're clean, hygiene is right, then of course, do that. But it's apparent that you have to date 2 to 3 people to compare. You know, it's just a given, because you're gonna get your feelings hurt if you're dating just one person and they don't feel like you feel. Oh, your feelings are gonna be hurt. So, and then you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing to fall back on, because you gave all your food. What is it? Put all your eggs in one basket, and that person did not feel the same. So we have to get smarter, men and women. We need to get smarter, especially over 50. If we trying to be out here dating, you know, most of us are already married, have grandchildren, and you know, happily married and still married, you know, and God bless those relationships. But then there's the single ones out here who, you know, um, are looking for love. And yeah, so take your time. Don't be rushing. Don't be trying to get into relationships. They be turning toxic fast and everything. Like, if you want a genuine love, long lasting relationship, then take the time that it takes to get your right person and fall in love, you know. I so believe in love. Like, man, there's nothing you can tell me when it comes to love. Like, it's such a beautiful thing, you know. And I know my God has given me the jewels that it takes to be a good wife. And so you got to ask for it, you know, and then you got to do the work. Even for a husband, if you're trying to be a husband, you got to do the work that it's going to take. You know, it takes a lot of patience. It takes emotional intimacy, you know, a mutual respect. Like, those are things that you got to work on. You got to ask the Creator to, you know, help me get this so I can be that. And it'll come. Because then after that, after you do all that, then don't worry about it no more, because it's going to come. And just start dating. That's all I can say is start dating, and your person will show up. You know, you don't date where, you know, you're getting burnt out. I'm not saying 6, 7, 8 people. I mean, maybe a person a week, you know, and you regroup, and then you know, you can date again and see. And that's a little fearful for me, because I'm just not that kind of person. I don't know if there's somebody out there like me that just like, I don't do dating, but the time has come. If I want a husband, I'm gonna have to start dating. And just like you want a spouse, you gotta get out there. Even if you gotta go alone and sit at a restaurant somewhere, and you know, maybe somebody will show up and talk to you or what have you. But if that doesn't happen, the fact that you took care of yourself, you did something good for yourself, and you got out there, it brings on that energy. It just gives you strength to continue, you know. And you're worthy. Who's not worthy of a good meal, even if it's by yourself, you know? It's just this dating is different now, you know. And there's so much social media. There's all different kind of ways that you could meet somebody. And you know what? People don't look like they look on the social media in person. Now, that's what I heard. I don't really know like that, but that's what I heard, that, you know, you don't see the person that you see on the social media. You know, it might be an old picture that they put up or whatever. I don't know. But it's too easy to date that way. It's too easy to meet people. You know, I like the old-fashioned way, actually. You know, you're out and about and you meet somebody. And, yeah. So, good luck to dating. Get out there, date, find your person. It's time to get married. Summertime is coming. There's all kind of activities that you could be doing together, and get to know each other. And, you know, I just wish everybody love, peace, and soul. Anyway, I just want to say, I just want to talk to you a little bit today about finding the one and how you can go about it. Thanks for watching. It's a Lava Stone.